File item 43, AB 1680, Rodriguez. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1680 by Assemblymember Rodriguez, an act relating to crimes.
Mr. Rodriguez, you are recognized.
Speaker and members, AB 1680 clarifies existing law that makes it a misdemeanor to interfere or impede police, firefighters, and EMS personnel at the scene of emergency by specifying that this crime can be committed remotely by the use of an unmanned aerial vehicle or drone. AB 1680 has broad bipartisan support and is supported by our law enforcement and fire safety agencies. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no debate, Cleveland will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll. Tally votes aye 74, no 0. The measure passes. Pass and retain items number 44 through 46. Item number 47, AB 2655, Weber. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2655 by Assemblymember Weber, an act relating to bail.
Ms. Weber.
Yes, Madam Speaker and members, I'm here today to present to you AB 2655, which would prevent someone who is arrested from having to pay a bail amount twice. Currently, when someone is arrested, that person is entitled to bail. If the district attorney fails to file a criminal complaint 15 days after arrest, perhaps because they are still investigating the matter and deciding whether or not to file charges, the bail must be released. The problem arises when the district attorney files charges more than 15 days after arrest because of a recent court case. The court is prohibited from relying on the previous posted bail. Instead, someone has to pay the bail again. AB 2655 fixes this problem by giving the court the authority to extend the original bail by up to 90 days whenever the district attorney is delaying in filing charges. The bill enjoys bipartisan support and passed out of Policy Committee on consent. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes aye 74, no 0. The measure passes. Pass and retain file item 48, file item 49, AB 2513, Williams. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2513 by Assemblymember Williams, an act relating to human trafficking.
Mr. Williams.
Good afternoon, members. This bill establishes a set of aggravating factors while sentencing those who are convicted of human trafficking. Specifically, the bill seeks to protect the most vulnerable victims targeted from such as runaway youth shelters, foster children, the homeless, or victims of domestic violence. Targeting foster children or runaway kids reflects premeditation on the part of the convicted party to purposefully seek out a particularly vulnerable person as a victim. Additionally, it undermines the principle that society has a special responsibility to protect its most vulnerable citizens. Discouraging offenders from preying on the easiest targets in our community is critical to protecting these individuals from trafficking. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the vote aye 75, no 0. The measure passes. File items 50 through 52, pass and retain.
Yes, on the amendment.
File item 53, AB 1665. Clerk will read. Bonilla, clerk will read with amendments.
Assembly Bill 1665 with amendments by Assemblymember Bonilla.
Ms. Bonilla, you're recognized to take up the amendments.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker and members. I present to you amendments for AB 1665. These amendments will remove the extension and the current authority for Alameda County and Contra Costa County to bring forth a countywide transaction and use tax, and now will only shift the existing authority to the Contra Costa Transportation Authority from the county. The amendments also add a joint author, co-authors, and an urgency clause. I ask for your aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, without objection, we can take a voice vote on the amendments. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. The amendments, ayes have it. The amendments are adopted and the bills will be sent out to print and placed back on file. File items 54 through 57 pass and retain. File item 58, AB 2126, Mullen. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2126 by Assemblymember Mullen, and actually into public contracts.
Mr. Mullen, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, AB 2126 simply increases Caltrans' existing authority to use the construction manager general contractor procurement method from 6 projects to 12. I introduced this bill because as regions across the state continue to be plagued by crippling traffic congestion, it's important that we increase the opportunities for our transportation agencies to reduce costs and expedite highway congestion relief projects. As described in the Appropriations Committee analysis, Caltrans is currently estimating project savings of 10% from using the CMGC method on the previously authorized projects, and significant savings could be realized from additional projects conducted in this manner. This is a positive trend that we ought to continue. AB 2126 will help in that effort. I ask for an aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no debate, clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Aye 75, no 0. The measure passes. File item 59 with amendments. Clerk will read. With amendments.
Assembly Bill 2228 with amendments by Assemblymember Cooley.
Mr. Cooley, you're recognized to take up the amendments.
Colleagues, AB 2228 is a bill dealing with the certification of code enforcement officers. These amendments simply clarify that the training that they will get does not stray in the areas of building inspectors and certified construction inspectors. They are clarifying, and in furtherance of the bill's purpose, I request an aye vote. I request the bill be amended and go back on file.
Seeing no further debate or discussion, without objection, we can take a voice vote on these amendments. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The amendments are adopted and the bill will be sent out to print and placed back on file. File item 60, pass and retain. File item 61 for amendments. The clerk will read with amendments.
Assembly Bill 2890 with amendments by Assemblymember Alejo.
Mr. Alejo, you're recognized for your amendments.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, the amendments to AB 2890 simply add a seat for an engineer on the advisory committees of the Water Board for water treatment operator, the water distribution operator, and the drinking water operator certification programs. The amendments make other technical and clarifying changes. With these amendments, the Association of California Water Agencies is no longer opposed to the bill. I respectfully ask for an aye vote on the amendments.
Seeing and hearing no debate, without objection, we can take a voice vote on the amendment. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The amendments are adopted and the bill will be sent out to print and placed back on file. File item 62, pass and retain. File item 63, AB 1825, Gordon. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1825 by Assemblymember Gordon and others, an action relating to dogs.
Mr. Gordon, you're recognized.
Thank you. Under existing law, all dogs seized in connection with animal fighting convictions are automatically labeled as vicious. The vicious label is usually a death sentence for these dogs. AB 1825 would protect these seized animals by removing this automatic designation and allowing them to receive the same individual health and behavioral assessments as all other dogs in California animal shelters. This way, these dogs will be evaluated to determine whether they can be rehabilitated to safely reenter society, whether they need to be placed in sanctuaries, or whether they need to be euthanized. AB 1825 passed unanimously out of local government committee and has no opposition. I'm happy to jointly author this bipartisan bill with my colleague, Assemblymember Mainshine, and we respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no debate, the clerk will open the roll. Hold on. Wait. Strike the roll. Mr. Williams, you're recognized.
I rise in support. Oftentimes when dogs are rescued from dogfighting operations, their living conditions are horrible. They are chained, beaten, starved, or used as bait. But after enduring the entire trauma, these dogs are then deemed vicious and euthanized. It's easy to get caught up in the past of dogs who come from environments of cruelty, but given a chance, many have actually learned to trust again and to behave well. This bill would give most dogs who do not pose a risk to other dogs and humans an opportunity to make a new, positive start from a negative beginning. I encourage an aye vote.
Mr. Gordon, would you like to close?
It's just I hope this is not a rough vote, and I ask for an aye.
Clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 69, no 0. The measure passes. File item 65, ACR 168, Medina. The clerk will read.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution 168 by Assemblymember Medina relative to 529 College Savings Day.
Mr. Medina, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. Assembly Concurrent Resolution 168 establishes May 29th as 529 College Savings Day. Named after Section 529 of the Internal Revenue Code that was created by the United States Congress in 1996, 529 savings plans provide families with a valuable investment tool for college savings. Since California's launch of 529 savings plans through the Scholar Share program in 1999, this program has grown to more than 270,000 accounts with over $6.3 billion in total plan assets. 529 savings plans are more important than ever before. Over the past 40 years, college tuition rates have been consistently increasing at 2 to 3 times the rate of inflation each year. During the same period of time, federal financial aid funding has shifted away from student grants towards guaranteed student loans. Today, nearly 60% of all federal financial aid is in the form of loans, substantially increasing the number of college graduates faced with the burden of repaying enormous student loan debt upon entering the workforce. It is critical that we continue to raise awareness among California families of all income levels about the importance of saving for college and the significant role that 529 saving plans can play. I ask for your aye vote on ACR 168 and would ask that the first roll be open for co-authors.
Seeing and hearing no debate, the first roll will be open for co-authors. Clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire, or all those who would like to be co-authors. The clerk will close the roll and tally the vote for co-authors. There are 74 co-authors. Members, we can take a voice vote on this item. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. File item 66, ACR 172, Hadley. The clerk will read.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution 172 by Assemblymember Hadley and others relative to Bone Marrow Donation Awareness Month.
Mr. Hadley, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good afternoon, members. I rise today to ask for your support of ACR 172, which declares May of 2016 as Bone Marrow Donor Awareness Month. Bone marrow can be used to treat a myriad of diseases. The most common include blood cancers like leukemia and lymphoma. The donor registry is vital because 70% of needy patients do not have a donor match in their family. California ranks #1 in the country for patients searching for a match, with 984 people searching in 2015. Many people don't know that all it takes to register as a bone marrow donor is to take a simple cheek swab and answer a few health questions. It really is that easy. Only 1 in 540 people on the bone marrow registry will ever be asked to give. But for those few, they will have the opportunity to cure a serious disease and save a life. I respectfully request your aye vote and ask that the first roll be open for co-authors.
Ms. Baker, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I thank our colleague for bringing forward ACR 172 and urge our co-authorship and support, and just bring a real-life reason why. Today, a constituent of mine who's 21 years old, Camille Chabot, is having a bone marrow transplant for stage 4 lymphoma. That she learned of last year and has been going through her time in college trying to fight this disease. And so it's a very real reminder that all of us have constituents who face the challenge of lymphoma and leukemia and who can benefit from bone marrow transplants. And so I very strongly urge our support, and I thank our colleague for bringing forward this measure.
Mr. Hadley, would you like to close?
Respectfully ask for an aye vote and request that the roll be open for co-authors.
The first roll will be for co-authors on ACR 172. The clerk will open the roll. Members, this is for co-authors. The clerk will close the roll. There are 74 co-authors added. Members, we can take a voice vote on this item. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. File items 67 through 69 pass and retain. File items 72 for amendments. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1848 with amendments by Assemblymember David Chu.
Mr. Chu, you're recognized for your amendments.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This is a bill to create transparency governing the backlog of sexual assault evidence kits. The amendments I'm offering today clarify timelines and add 5 co-authors. Ask for your support in the amendments.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, without objection, we can take a voice vote on the amendments. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The amendments are adopted, and the bill will be sent out to print and placed back on the file. Mr. Hadley, you're recognized for your guest introduction.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm really pleased to have with us today a couple of folks related to the bone marrow donor resolution that this chamber just passed. Up in the gallery to my right, we have Chris and Stacy Contreras. Chris has aplastic anemia. He has been actively searching for a bone marrow donor since November of last year. We also have with us Elaine Rock, who's the account manager for marrow and plasma with blood source here in the Sacramento area. And then finally, from Be the Match, which is the nonprofit organization leading this effort from the Northwest District, we have Linda Alexander, who's the manager of community engagement, Hannah Jacobs, community engagement representative, and Wendy Hearn, supervisor of donor resources. And following floor session today, along with Be the Match, my office will be hosting a bone marrow donor registration drive on the east steps of the Capitol. So everybody is invited to hear more about becoming a bone marrow donor and to registering to help save a life. So if you can help me welcome our guests to the gallery. Thank you very much. Oh, they're behind me.
File item 71, clerk will read with amendments.
Assembly Bill 2387 with amendments by Assemblymember Mullen.
Assemblymember Mullen, you're recognized for your amendments.
Madam Speaker, members, I'm submitting mostly technical amendments that address some of the definitions in my bill relating to automobile supplemental restraint systems, and airbags. Those of you who sit on public safety as well as privacy and consumer protection committees recall there were some minor questions and concerns raised by auto dismantlers about some of the definitions in the bill. These amendments address those concerns. I ask for an aye vote on the amendments.
Seeing and hearing no debate, without objection, we can take a voice vote on this item. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The amendments are adopted, and the bill will be sent out to print and placed back on the file. Mr. Rodriguez, you are recognized for your guest introduction.
Madam Speaker, members here joining me on the floor today, or actually on the galleries, my wife, Michelle, my daughter, Selena, and Vincent, if we could right to the right. Welcome onto the Assembly.
File item 72 pass and retain. File item 73 AB 2819. Chu, the clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2819 with amendments by Assemblymember David Chu.
Mr. Chu, you're recognized to take up your amendments.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This is a bill that addresses the plight of tenants who are placed on blacklists if an eviction unlawful detainer lawsuit is not resolved within 60 days, which affects a tenant's credit and ability to find housing. The amendments that I'm offering today were developed in collaboration with the California Apartment Association and will allow access to a tenant's court records with a court order in cases where the landlord prevails in an unlawful detainer case after the 60-day deadline. Respectfully ask for your support on these amendments.
Seeing and hearing no discussion or debate, without objection, we can take a voice vote on the amendments. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The amendments are adopted, and the bill will be sent out to print and placed back on the file. File item 74, pass and retain. File item 75, ACR 166. Chu, the clerk will read.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution 166 by Assemblymember Kansan Chu, relative to California Travel and Tourism Month.
Mr. Chu, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. I rise today to present Assembly Concurrent Resolution 166, which proclaimed May 2016 as California Travel and Tourism Month. Travel and tourism serve as an impressive engine for our economic growth and well-being for our state, as millions of travelers from around the world are welcomed each year to fulfill their own version of the California dream. Travel is a significant pillar of California's economy and the second largest export industry, contributing more than $120 billion annually in direct spending, which generate crucial tax revenue to state and local economy. This is the industry is one of the few in California that is significant in all parts of our state. It serves as an important hedge against economic downturn and is protected from factors that impact other sectors of the economy, such as automation or outsourcing. Tourism serves as an important cultural purpose by bringing individuals from around the world to foster an important exchange of customs, traditions, and ideas. I respectfully ask for the first row be open for co-authors.
The first roll will be open for co-authors on ACR 166. The clerk will open the roll. This is for co-authors, members. There are 75 co-authors added. Members, we can take a voice vote on this item. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Mr. Chu, you are recognized for your guest introductions.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. I'd like to welcome Carolyn Batista, is President and CEO of Visit California, that is in the gallery up there. And also like to welcome Pauline Fan, who's the General Manager from China Airlines, who are here to celebrate the 40-plus years of inaugural flight, trans-Pacific flight between Taiwan and the United States. And on a personal note, my father used to be a pilot for China Airlines shortly after the Air America closed their operation in Southeast Asia. And also, I'd like to welcome Alex Lee, Deputy Director General from the Taipei Economic and Cultural Office in San Francisco. Finally, I'd like to invite you for a reception in room 125 shortly after the session. Thank you very much.
File items 76 through 81 pass and retain. File item 82, AB 2484. Daly, the clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2584 by Assemblymember Daley and others, an act relating to housing.
Mr. Daley, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. There is a belief among most Californians that counties and cities in our state aren't allowing enough new housing to keep up with our growing population. This bill would help mitigate one potential barrier to the construction of more housing units by adding groups representing tenants and housing providers to the list of those who can enforce the Housing Accountability Act when a local government fails to comply with the law. The Housing Accountability Act for the last 30 years has been a tool for ensuring that new housing is constructed. Since its inception, 13 additional bills have been enacted on top of that to strengthen its provisions and add clarity to the bill. This bill is supported by both the California Apartment Association and the Western Center on Law and Poverty in a rare alliance, and is yet another step toward addressing the many barriers to building more housing units in our state. I respectfully request an aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the vote. Aye 60, no 7. The measure passes. File items 83 through 89 passed and retained. File item 90, AB 1887 Low. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1887 by Assemblymember Lowe and others, an act relating to discrimination.
Mr. Lowe, you are recognized.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Assembly Bill 1887 will ban state-funded travel to states with discriminatory laws that target LGBT individuals and their families. This bill would prohibit state entities from sending their employees or members to states that discriminate on the basis of sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression. California supports inclusiveness and has always been a leader in preventing discrimination. We need to use our powerful voice to say that we do not tolerate discrimination in any form of any kind. This bill enjoys multiple members of both parties in support, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 52, no 17. The measure passes.